أريد اخنا نشفت طورة ميطيب قيرا قشتا دجمن نصر سورة انهابت يا رايا انهابت ورمي جنايا مكوخ قالا راما خوني ألم عطورايا لا شقي تدش من جلادة هابن خادوت وبرقادة كت اخنا بنورة بقيادة لا اخنا خليبك شدني شوقتين ايتو تتشني انا بلا بايدك دش مني اخنا اريد دشتا اخنا نشرد طورة ريطب قيرا قشتا خوني دجمن نصر سورة شو قابل جلبايا عبد بربرنايا عتم سنيقت خوب بخوني خويا دان بايا لا شوق ددش من جلادة هم خادوت وبرقادة كت اخنا بنورة بقيادة لا اخنا خليبك شدني الشوقة خيني ايتو تتشني انا بلا بايدة دج مني اخنا نورك شمشا اخنا نكف ودرمشا دخشوق اخلا يما مرموت قرشا لبي شطنايا لقلت نخرايا مسجد لي البان بروني بدنيا وقمايا قد بشغ مدر مضي مخسر قول الصنخي رضي دج مني الظالم مسليه قد بشا مدر مضيتا ننبي وباب الكلديتا وبشميران أطوريتا بايد درخل دشتا بايد يستخل طورا درخ بيدان خوارتا يولا بيضان البربورا ملي بتبشغ مدر مضي مردنا باها تمضي دج مني الظالم مسليه بتبشغ مدر مضيتا ننبي وباب الكلديتا وبراية ايشو قامتا
شلالو خمره موتن مغبه بخلطه بطلابو خجا مرقلته بيلا جداها خورزت خاجيش رقنين به اديه بيتاي باخ اموخون من خا ارخا مغبه قد رابا من نوخون بدايوتون ميقرا نوري كينو اديه بشوكا خاشلامه داره و خورزن شارخله ميقرا نوري خشلامه داريتون وقا ميقومتن
رمشو بري خون فرجونا ميقري بشينو اثيتو القشرد نينوي جمعياتي بنام ميقرو نينوس تكتشو قدمونو دي تحرس تاثي
بلاومتن مغرب دخل بداية وقت اخنا بفصل بريش دخل اتلان اكسنت همزوم بوقت جدا لشان ديان آتورايا ميقرا نوري ده همزوم له بشكل آتورايا ماروايا لا
بله معربويا سريويا معربويا بعد مشغول سريويا مادن خويا
انا اوديو رابا بت اويا جدا خورزن شاميتون قد بليشانة انجلس بت همزمخ وبإتلان رابا أرخ قد من أطروات بريشة دخل بدايتون ميقرا نوري كينو شوريول خا جووجة خا موفمنتي لكد من أمتا بتايلا من كل أمتا خوشتا من كل جبه ومن كل همانياتا وآها جووجة مويل الرابا شخلابه جو خيوت داها أمتان وديو قد سنكتوا أمتا ديان أجووجة أبيوالا وبت أفيلان من رابا من بريشة أطروات قد بالخاننا بقشيوتا الداها movement demand for action قد إلخا مندي رابا شابيرا قد ميل الإيتوتا ميغرا نوري كينو وكلت قد بالخاننا كل أطرواتا بت آويلان أرخي بريش ببصلة سكايب من كل دانا أطروات قد هل آدية أنصف أوديو همزمخ how many countries we are talking today with like
أديماغ مشغلينا حمشو أثراوثو 5 countries إيه بل إحنا بتشحصر أثراوثونا
اتجسر أطروات ميغرا نوريكينو اتلي يعني يسورة منه واتلي أزجد تامكت بالخانة جدني كل أطروات بغزايبخ من لبنان، تركيا، سويدن، سوريا، إيران، العراق، دنمارك، بلجيم، نيدرلاند، أستراليا، فرنسا، جرماني ودخت مرن أستراليا، نيوزيلاند، يونايتد كينغدوم، إنجلند وإيلا ويونايتد ستيتس، كندا، روسيا، جورجيا. من دان أطروات يسورة إتلون إنا أوديو يوما أخجي من خمشاد عن أطروات بتهم
مجلينا عم كندا مجلينا عم أستراليا من كل فلوس هركة عم أمريكا قدسيو عمينا روشل يوسفيان كجهدو مايز قادت دار كده أمريكا ومجلينا ستا عم وثرو عم العراق ومجلينا عم لبنان وعم أستراليا خدموا الولي ماقم
هي من كل دنا أطروات قد إينا بتهمزمخ وديو شاريت همزمتان بأورخة سكايب بتويا من كله من أطرت كندا بتشارخ أخجي عادية الخدنا رابا كريتا من يختا جري أزخ اتلان خا أرخا خيتا أمان بتويا ميوغرت راشل يوسفيان قد لخا بتويا أمان دخت بدايتون آيندا إلى من شوتابوت آتور اتسانو زي لخا قد آيندا بدوية خامن دين ناشد قد إلى قداها تيم وبرخات لقداها ميزالتها أمان بيشيتون وبدر غموهم بكمارو بابا خينا أبيتون رو باسيمة
خلاباتي جوري ملك جباري هلو نارا طنقاتان مرمخاتا شوق قد قمتان خيا خيوتا بايا قمتان خيوتا بايا شوق قد خيا ويا كتاب وقلم ويا خيو تشلم لدري من قم بالريشان لبز بكون لون نشان كما آوار بغدارا من تر لتروارا شوقنا تران بنخلي تر العرق فتخخلي يا خلابتي جوري ملكي جباري هلو نارا طنقة مرمقة شوقنا قد أمتان خيا خيوتا بايا أمتان خيوتا بايا شوقنا قد خيا
نيشان بضايوت أنا قتل قد قال قخينة قد نقرأي منطقة
to the atrocities that are happening in Iraq and elsewhere. We've got to stop this. The genocide, the ethnic cleansing.
Because we don't need the media, because as you guys know, these weeks that have passed, we've used our own media, that is the social media.
قد أمتي خيا خيوتا بايا أمتي خيوتا بايا شوفن قد خيا
Assyrian pastors in Iraq are pleading for prayer from their brothers and sisters in Christ around the world. We are also pleading for all the Christians in our country to voice the Assyrians' cry to Congress and other leaders of the Western world. We are asking the United Nations to protect the Assyrians as a historical nation.
بنخلی تارا لرخی قد فخری یا خیرابتی جوری منی جباری هنون رو آراتن غتن مرمخ و آتن شوفن قد امتن خیا خیوتا بایا امتن خیوتا بایا شوفن قد خیا یا خیرابتی جوری منی جباری هلون رون آراتن غتن مرمخ
Obama, where are you?
امتن خیا خیوتا بایا امتن خیوتا خلبتی جوری ملک جباری هلون آراتن قطن مرمخاتن شوقن قد امتن خیا خیوتا بایا امتن خیوتا بایا شوقن قد خیا ويا كتاب وقلم ويا خيو تشلم لدري من بوم بالريشان لبز بكون لون نشان ما آوار بغدارا من تارا لتروارا شوفنا
مغبة خينا أموخم بتايبخ من دنا أرخن مغبة عديد بغزايتون كت راشل يوسفيان لخد تفتلا إيدي يمينة وخشلا مداريات راشل
شلام بدراين لقارد كل بنيوم تي مغبة جشغاند خرزت برستانتنت آتورتا أهداند رمش أمانيتون
بنيوم تن مغبة دخت بدايتون ميوقرت راشل ده إلى خامن هدمتا قداها بالخانة أمتنايا demand for action وبيايم و خكم بقار بقرخ و are you going to ask her the questions or should I ask?
Oh, we can ask each other.
Okay, let's ask each other.
You want me to ask the question from myself?
ميوقرت راشل demand for action قامو آتن join with demand for action بخشابت مو اتنجابو ده أمتكد ورتد جدا خاله
أنا بخشابن كل خا أما ترايا كل خابنا أمتديان قد دمو برداخل اتل رخشت هايرت قد نومتو اتل بغسايل بنومتن جودن أحوالات جداها ألصانا اتل خادمات اتل خا باوتان إلى برقان بنومتن باوتان إلى شغلت الزدق وحقويات بنومتن وبهر أناز بسامد جاني باجبوت جاني خزيالي وديلي قد أناز مخنا أمتي خين لاجر شليته ويانا أوديوم كويد إلى دانا رابش نزيته جفتش إيتان لا شغلق پاسل تا كوي قد خينا آها فرصت لا پیش قديان يوفلتا أتجاخت تونينا ليب politiق خلانه كتاني قد seize the moment آها التت پاشانتا إلى خادانت قد بريشدنا أمتن جم خصابان رابقو بملون إنا جداها دانا وبن أخنن لا ماسخ شقلخنون حقوياتت بني أمتن لاقش أمسخ شقلخ حقوياتت أمتا آتوريتا بخايا وغ إتشئيتت إما شنغم عادية وهاتن خيونا كتاب تشئيتا قريو وغ وبقرايو وغ ولغ بشقالة خباسولتا أنا بغزايون رابا من خبنتا بغزايو وغ قد خنالمسان ريشي مرمانه داتيت وتنيانا قخين قد خيتن جداها دورا ولنشقلتا خباسولتا قد مقوختت قالت أمتي واجبوت دي إلان بخاين خاطرة خيرة بخاين خاطرة مغامركي قد أمسان مقوخانة قالتنا أمتي واجبوت إلان أها قال مقوخانة قادة إيوانام كل خطفاتي وأخواتي خينيجو خادروان التبل أيدال كل يخ مضيخلو قالوا مقوختت نومتن جو أطرد عراق هرددانا عنيد قد جو أطرد سوريا خشيت قام عادية بشلون خطوط صانع.
عادية ويد باسمتك كدن تخمينياتك كد مقربة لك بنومتن أرجع كد كأمتها بوجدوا ده بالتي البارا demand for action إلى خا جوجا قد ميغرنوريكينو شوريوله أن كل راليز قد بغزاية جو كل أطروات جو كل مدينات قد بشلون فيه وبتقابي كل پیشنا مریض بیدت بنون بنات ده امتا لا بیدت هیچ که جبه دخت معرمن لا بیدت هیچ که ایتا و همانویتا بیدت بنون و بنات ده امتا دخت خزیتون و اخجانا باین باکرن من میاقرانوری how many cities through the whole world we had these rallies
بربحصر أثراوثو كتولن تجليوثو راليز وكدويلن استهش غالبا تجليوثو بزبنو دعتيد وبزبنو كاريوس دعتيد كدويلن so more than 14 countries already وكتلان خدم الله يروش الماقم احنا يبوعوا ثيدان هدلمتنا له هدفيدان لوني شيدان دلو بطلو اجزانو بثرة لو احنا كتلان اسني قيلان جوما كتلان اقولو يدان خاليو وعثريدان وليبدو عثريدان خاليو نينوي وكخلينا عسقوثو غالبا بيجوزر توب سوريا واللي كبعيناس دي وميدانو ديورو ودوزي والعثريدان ترابدين تركيا يا لبنان وياستي على ماستر لو إيران لو أورميا كبعينا محضرينا روحينا قدرينا مكلينا we want to stop that this will grow wherever we are and therefore we started the movement as a grassroots movement and as you said earlier we no matter what you call yourself Chaldean, Syriac, Assyrian we are one nation we have 7 patriarchs denominations of churches and they are behind us we are behind them and we're talking as with one voice and that's I think that's the different Prishana
Prishtla أجا من ربع جاه أوديو قالت كلن خادوا كتاب لاطلة خامدي بيايخلانه خامدي بطلابه demand we are demanding just one thing that everybody knows
حمايل وعاميدان أي كتشو عاميدان ببريثو كلك لازم يحامي we want our nation to be safe wherever they are in the world that's our demands
and this is actually human rights this is the right of a Syrian nation the basic right of a Syrian nation as human to have a safe reasons and ways and means to live
and we will not stop until every woman child and man are safe wherever they are.
Do you think it's the time for us to call one by one all these?
Yes.
The
Let's talk to the other
representatives we
countries.
have, all the agents that we have in the homeland. Yes.
Okay. Mut activities itten ادي لخا جو امريكا كداها شول كدبادتون اخ demand for action
Go USA.
USA.
اتن بريش اطرواته این الخزخ خود جو امريكا مو ديوايلا
البته امریکا ز امام اطرابات خینه مویدال بلیل بیوم اگویا بتشقلتنا رابا من الليماتن داخل بقد لخون جو هم زمان ایلا خا grassroots movement grassroots movement گشخانه موقع بداخل بدايتون ایلا خا جوجا المایا قد معي للشخلابها جو ايكانايوتت خيوتت خا اطرا خا كنوشيا خا دوكتا ولتلي يصورة الهج خا جبا داخل توني لخون الهج خا شوتاسا الهج خا يشما لتلي يصورة إنا هربداد انت بشقال السنتا من رابا جشم بريش وبخادوتا كم شفتانا جو تاتورتو ديوما كل جشم هايورنا قداها جوجا قداها grassroots movement سبب إيلا هيفي أختي هيفي بشت ديان وجوجت قد وايل جو مركز هربداد انت إيلا هر الراحت دو جوجت قد وايل كل دكتور تبل حاصليات بياش نشقيله هر الداها ريزا بياش نشقيله وديو بداين ترى قبميات بتقابيني جو يرخد سبتمبر قد إينا رابش نزياية يوب أطرد أمريكا بتشقلي شوبر خامنة إيلا جمديت واشنطن بد أو يعني خدنا السمت الخاضروانت كريستيانو تواني قد بياش نموليس جو أطرد عراقي نهر بدأت أها السمت بياش لموليس جو واشنطن خامريست إتلا demand for action إلى إقامة press conference أطراي قد بتشقل شوبر جمديت واشنطن بتهمون النوري.
We will come back to that when we speak to our ambassador in Washington, our lobbyist.
Very well. They're telling مارانينا قد خك بنيومتن مغبة.
أدي شيرلي
هازري لا قد يفعلن خك ما ريبورت.
أدي بنيومتن مغبة خمسة قد خزيتون لا البرستا أمتنيتا أطوريتا لا خاي كسلان إلى خامن team member وخامن leaders بخشابين جو كندا إلى demand for action قد إلى رابا active و رابا بالخانة لا أشياء الكل خا طاوت كت أخنا بداية باخ وبشمت شيرلي ميوقرت شيرلي قرية قصليلة جيفرجس رابا فخلاتي شلام على داخيبات
سباي بسي ما خنا خن دخيتن
بس انت رابا اخنا ديت كت بداية باخ كت آتن إيباد خامن موجك تاني leaders demand for action جو بابت كندا حكمة بقارة فعلا قمت بيايتون كابناء أمتن خشلامة داريتون وجانا خصباي ماضياتها وخرت أزغ البقارة
فقدم فقط مودي وبارا لنا باش ما سباي
جانا خشمخ تاني له وشولت قد آتن بادوات جو كندا قد إيباد بيايق ماضيات قد مجرى إتلا قاموا join فيتوت demand for action تاما.
ومش تلانو تدي خمودي لقيو demand for action.
If you guys don't mind Benjamin the English, because it's a bit stronger than my Assyrian.
Okay.
And that's not open. So I joined a demand for action when I saw that Rabbi Nuri Kino was able to mobilize all of the youth within the diaspora. To kind of get together, put away their differences, and put away everything about their identity that was kind of
diversed us,
sets us apart, and kind of focus on something that brings us together. There's awareness about our culture, whether you call yourself Assyrian, Chaldean, or Syriac, no matter which church you come from, no matter what political ideology you recognize with. To kind of focus on what's going on to our people back home under the threat of ISIS, and to focus on the displaced minorities over there, and to raise awareness in our respective countries So here in Canada, we've been doing a lot of work lobbying to our MPs, raising a lot of awareness through social media, meeting with these MPs, letting them know what's going on in Iraq and Syria. A lot of them already identify, especially in Iraq, our people as the Iraqi Christians. And we try to also bring our indigenous identity towards that, because that's what will get us our rights back home. So we let them know that yes, we are the religious minority over there, but we are also an ethnic minority, and we are indigenous to that land. And a lot of times that's failed to be mentioned in the media, so that's what we strive for. And it's something that we can't blame the media for, we can't blame our respective governments for, especially Canada, because it's our duty to sort of shape what they think they already know and educate them. So instead of getting mad at the fact that they're calling us Iraqi Christians, or they're calling us the Christians of Iraq, or the Christian people, we should let them know, it's our duty to let them know what our identity is and kind of go from there. So, yes.
So how did you do that? How do you do that?
A lot of times we have been writing through articles. When we were doing the protests, when this all first started, we put together a lot of protests asking for a safe haven in northern Iraq for all the displaced minorities. So that includes Assyrians, Chaldeans, Syriacs, Shebeks, the Yazidis, the Mandayans, basically anybody who doesn't have a voice over there. So we're asking for a safe haven. We were going to all of the different rallies. I know a lot of the protests asked for different things. For example, there was a protest in Canada asking for a safe haven, and there was another one led by the churches asking for humanitarian aid. But all of the youth made sure that we attended all of them, showed our support for all of them, because we're all one people. And also every time we were being interviewed, for example, at the Christian protest, we were approached by a newspaper called the Catholic Register that continued to recognize us as the Christian people, but we corrected them. We said we are also the indigenous people. So we're educating the media outlets. We were tweeting. Twitter has been huge in all of this. We have a social media campaign through Twitter where we have, this was actually started by the Demand for Action team in Australia, and they sort of brought it to the rest of the teams in the diaspora. And we've been contacting several celebrity figures, people that have a voice, MPs, people that have been already talking about what's going on in ISIS, but sort of have a sorry, I can't find the words right now. They're influenced, and they're afraid to say specific things, so they just continue saying things that they read about. So we tweet at them and we let them know, thank you for covering this, but you also have to know that we are also indigenous and we're not only the Christians. So a lot of it is education, and that's the first step, is letting them know that we appreciate that they're talking about it, but they also need to mention these things, and that's what will help us ultimately achieve that safe haven and achieve what we want for our people back home. I hope that answered the question.
Shirley, are you guys in connection all the time with like different countries, with different colleagues that you guys have in different places by social media? I believe so, yeah?
Absolutely. Social media, I think people fail to recognize the importance of social media in our society today. It's so easy to connect with Assyrians, Chaldeans, and Syriacs all over the world just by like a click of a button. You see that someone has an Assyrian last name, or you think that, you know, they have this like familiar presence. They just like, I don't know this person, but I know that they share the same culture with me, so I want to connect with them. And social media kind of gives us that platform. So yes, we do keep in contact. We have different leaders in the diaspora, and each leader sort of has brought together their own group of people that they think would make a great sort of group to talk about all these ideas and have an open mind. And that's the most important thing, is we need people that with a clear vision and who have an open mind and who have the best of both worlds, who think for the best for our people and also think the way people in the West think. So you have to kind of have the best of both worlds, and I believe that the Demand for Action teams within the diaspora have all of that, and we keep in contact through Facebook and through Twitter. So
thank you so much, Shirley, for all these explanations. And I just want to let you know that we have 4 more countries that we are going to be talking to them tonight. And thank you so much. I have one last question. Do you have any near future plan? What you guys planning for near future?
Activities for Demand for Action.
For Demand for Action Canada or in general?
Canada.
I know for Canada, where we continue to put pressure on the governments. Right now, we're putting together a creative project via photograph and poster awareness. So we have a bunch of people. A lot of them are friends. A lot of them are people that want to help raise awareness, and they're not part of the Assyrian or even Iraqi community, but they want to help. So we're doing like a photo campaign where we will post these photos of people kind of with having the Nazarene symbol on their fists, and it'll be it's going to be like a very symbolic campaign where we print these posters out, and then we're going to post them all over Hamilton, Toronto, and the GTA. And I think the biggest thing right now is awareness, and the more people see something creative out there and they continue to see the same images and the same symbols, people will want to ask questions. So even on these posters, we're going to give them a source or a URL, hopefully to the Demand for Action website, and then they can research more about what's going on.
Surely.
On top of that, we will continue to ask the Canadian government for aid. At first, they sent $5 million to go towards Red Cross and all of these humanitarian organizations, and now they're sending about 15 million's worth. So hopefully, they're going to continue to do that. And even though something as little as sending money is kind of insignificant, the fact that they're talking about it is a big step, and that's a huge thing for Canada, at least.
Surely.
So it's baby steps, and then we'll hopefully work from there. So
Shirley, you guys in Canada, George beat Yunnan, is that?
Yeah.
He made something special for Canada. Can you just explain what that is? And also, thank you very much and congratulations to Renia Benjamin, who met the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So you have done awesome job. It's not just wake awareness, you have also done the lobbyism. But tell us about George's project.
George Bit-Yunan is a member of the Demand for Action Canada team. He actually came up with a program that allows Canadians to put in their postal code, which is their area code or their zip code, and it automatically brings up a list of all the MPs in their area, and the person who puts in their postal code is able to contact these MPs and send them a predetermined letter and petition. And it's such a resourceful and quick way to send members of parliament that letter, and it's very systematic, and it's a very reliable way. I think this day and age, as much as technology is so helpful to us and it's there at our fingertips, people are still kind of lazy, and they don't want to do anything more than just type in a couple of letters. So we gave them that opportunity. We sort of just said, put in these few numbers, and then you'll have this predetermined letter sent to your MP. So that's all they need to do. So it's a really, really awesome way of getting people to do one small thing, and it'll reach to all these MPs and make a huge difference. So that was awesome of George. And Rania did meet with Honorable John Baird, with Rabbi Asher from Assyrian Aid Society, and that put a lot of pressure, and hopefully from there we're going to continue to meet with more members of parliament, and hopefully Prime Minister Stephen Harper will hear our voice as well.
Shirley, one last thing. Also, Mike from Canada was the one that put together the World Protest Facebook page, right? Can you tell us about Mike? Who's Mike? What's his name?
Michael Camus. is a gentleman who, the great thing about activists is they come out of nowhere. Mike saw everything that was happening to our people back home, and it sort of pushed him to start this campaign. And he was the only person that started this worldwide protest. All of these protests that were going on within the diaspora was because this gentleman took the initiative to start these protests worldwide, and it just came from one person having an idea, and he basically mobilized all of these protests. So Mike is a new activist in the Assyrian Canadian community, and we're very proud of him and all of his accomplishments, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had that first stepping stone to start all of this. So it's really cool that
we're proud of every single one of you.
In tragedies, you get people start becoming activists.
شيرلي اويد رابا باسمتها كلن اخنا ريشتي قاره مكيوب وقت ده بالخانه ديوخون واديك كل بن امتى ده دوخ مدو يك شيرلي بت اويا دبرنت ANB جو كندا اها خمته بت اويا تابيلا ريشانوتت ANB وكل تخمانيات كانت ANB اتلا جو كندا اي امتو يا مرخوطو do you want to say
Shirley, we're proud of every single one of you. Awesome job. تودي غلبة تودي ساقي بس انت رابع.
لا شرشيتون.
Nuri, we're proud of you. Thank you so much for being a leader and for all the work you do. You guys are amazing. If it wasn't for you guys being the leaders in our community, the youth would have nothing to go with. So we need people to sort of inspire us and sort of pave the way so that we can continue being the activists that we are. So بسيما فالوخون.
أتويد باسمتها ورمشة بشينا.
خيا جانا أخو.
بوشم بشينا. Have a good night, guys.
بوشم honestly, when I see this younger generation with this kind of boiling blood are coming forward and doing all these really hard work to just bring all these demonstrations together, rallies and all these, it's like I'm really happy with them.
This new generation are fed up with being divided in different churches, different political parties, different ideologies. They want to be one, and they want us to lead them as one. Of course, they have their own opinions, and they're awesome because they are most of them are actually born in the diaspora, but still they have this strong feeling for Asra, for the homeland, and for the needy ones, like for all those IDPs that we have and the vulnerable groups that we have back home. And I'm proud and amazed of every single one of this, and they are all over the world in 19 countries. I mean, Rochelle, the first month we didn't sleep. We still don't sleep.
We still don't sleep.
I left Rochelle's house the other day. I said, because I need to work at least 20 hours the upcoming night. So leave me alone, guys. I need to be in touch with all
and
these
our
countries.
work was conflicting with
yes. Who's up next?
Who's up next?
Okay. Next, it's going to be Lebanon or Iraq.
Yeah.
Like these two countries, we are.
Very well.
But it's a
Steve.
good time for us to explain to the people, because the whole thing is about the people.
Yeah.
That we need like grassroots. That what we are talking about, from the people for the people.
That's right.
What is like? How did you start?
How did I start? I just came home from Syria. I went to the border from Turkey to Syria to actually as a guide. I'm the international coordinator for a film festival in Mardin.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. The question that I'm asking, it's about what have you seen with your own eyes, or what
I'll tell you.
You were witness of something that you came up with something to just go and get some help.
I'll come. I came to the border of Syria, and I saw Qamishli, and I just felt I need to get in. I need to go in. And my friend said, are you crazy? I said, I'm going in. So I went to Syria, I came back to Sweden. I literally haven't unpacked when my phone kept bothering me. And I saw it's a number from Middle East, and I was like, oh, Syria again, my cousins, someone. I'm too tired. But then eventually I picked up the phone. And it was a young Assyrian that has been forcibly deported from Sweden. And he said, Rabbi, listen, Rabbi. And he was whispering, and I asked this young kid, Bashir, I said, what's going on? He said, just listen. And I heard, Takbir, Allahu Akbar, Takbir. And I asked him, I said, Daesh, which means ISIS. He said, Daesh. He said, yes, it's ISIS. And then I felt my knees were, oh, it's calling. Where are we now? Steve Ushana, Washington.
Steve?
Washington,
Oh,
Steve
okay.
Ushana.
We'll go, Steve.
اوكي ادي بخشابن من واشنطن بتهمزم
Yes.
احكيك بيشان بني قمت دقيريتانا كات ادي اني السقط رابا بريش كات اخنا همزوم وقت من different countries بوينتانا بسقط رابا بريش ادي بلا سقط ستيف لخ من رختله ادي توماس سقطت خدت سروايلا
And let's hope the lines works in the other countries.
Do you want to welcome Steve?
Steve, Shena.
Shalom aleichem.
Hello.
Pardon, adi minna nitun al Skype. Shalom aleichem.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it's your.
The battlefield's yours.
Welcome, Steve. Sheno.
Thank you for having me. If it's okay with you guys, I'm going to speak in English if that's acceptable.
Yeah, everybody is asking us the same thing. You're not exception.
All right.
We are just proud of your job, whatever language you speak.
As long as you claim you are a Syrian, you belong to the station.
Or call yourself Syriac and Chaldean.
Syriac
No
Chaldic,
difference.
that's right.
Steve, tell us, why did you join a demand for action?
There were two things. The first thing that sort of got me back into working on Assyrian issues was my uncle Ramon Oshana is an Assyrian activist. He called me a while back and told me that the Assyrians were having a hard time getting in touch with the Obama administration, and that they weren't very responsive to our demands. So that was sort of the impetus for me to step in a bit. More importantly, I think for me, what was really the reason that I wanted to work with Demand for Action in particular was that the group was very organized. And Nuri, God bless you, man. You do a fantastic job.
God bless
you really
you.
do. And there was the legitimacy to our advocacy now, because we had hundreds of thousands of people rallying across the world in 17 countries and 59 cities or 62 cities. I forgot exactly how many it was now. It keeps growing. But it gave legitimacy to our action, and everybody was organized, and more importantly, everybody was united in the effort. Everybody, there was the sort of divisions that we saw in our community in the past, had sort of subsided in a lot of ways, or at least had been put to the side. And also, this was, at least in my opinion, this was sort of the digital revolution of the Assyrian people. This is the revolution of our younger generation. For those of us who were born in the United States, who were born in Canada, who were born in the diaspora, really stepping forward and taking action and doing it in an organized way. And so I couldn't stay on the sidelines. So Demand for Action was a great organization for me to participate.
Steve, tell us what's going to take place in Washington in the next week or 10 days.
Okay, so the next week there is a summit. It's called In Defense of Christians. It is a summit of leaders, religious leaders, some political leaders, who are gathering in Washington to raise awareness and discuss the violence affecting Christians in the Middle East. As far as a demand for action goes, we're going to be holding a press conference surrounding our issues and our petition for safe haven. I am proud to say that yesterday I did deliver our official proposal for safe haven to the White House. That is currently being reviewed by the National Security Council, and it's going to be making its way to the president shortly. So that is the sort of long and short of it. We're going to be lobbying our members of Congress. We have several people, including Mr. Kino, who are going to be joining us in Washington, and we're going to take this as an opportunity to directly engage our members of Congress. So we're going to be holding a press conference on Capitol Hill in the House building, and getting people on board, pushing our legislation, pushing our humanitarian efforts, but most importantly, we're going to keep pressing our push for safe haven, both through legislation, through executive action, by engaging the president and the White House, as well as our continued international efforts on that.
Thank you very much, Steve. We know that you are one of the Assyrian lobbyists. Tell us about your lobbyism activities. What have you been doing in the past couple of months?
What have you achieved since you came back to lobbyism in Washington, since you joined a Demand for Action? What have you achieved?
So since joining Demand for Action, there are a few things that I'm proud to say that we've helped usher through. There were two bills, Senate Resolution 653, and also the House version of that bill, HR 301, which creates a special envoy within the State Department for minorities in the Middle East. That bill passed about a month ago, and our first effort, the first thing I did when we approached the White House was we requested the president sign that bill, and I'm proud to say that 2 weeks ago tomorrow, the president signed that bill, and this week and next week we're going to be meeting with the White House to discuss how to implement that envoy, finding the right person to fill that position. And that's going to be an advocate for religious minorities, specifically in the Middle East. So it's really going to be someone who is in the State Department specifically to deal with our issues, and it's going to there's going to be a great advocate for us. So I thought that was a huge win for us. Legislatively, there was also HR 683. It was a sense of the House resolution that we ended up that we helped push through, that just condemned the violence in Iraq against the Syrians and against Christians. We did see a statement from the White House. The first thing I did after I got my phone call from my uncle is that I approached Mashmi Maran of the Assyrian American National Federation and let him know that the lines of communication with the White House were open, and that I was working on setting up a meeting for that. That meeting materialized. We met with the National Security Council with Ben Rose, the Deputy National Security Advisor, as well as Andrew Kim, who is the Director of Iraq Policy at the White House, and several other members of the National Security Council. Shortly after that, we saw the National Security Council release a statement regarding not only our meeting, but just condemning the violence in general. We saw Samantha Powers, of the U.S. Ambassador to the UN, speak out in favor of our cause, and shortly, this was shortly after that. We saw a lot of pressure from the administration to the Central Iraqi government, as well as the Peshmerga and the KRG, for more direct contact between the central government and the KRG. And with that, we saw direct military support of the U.S. for the people who were protecting the areas, as well as U.S. airstrikes against ISIL targets, both in Sinjar and just outside of the KRG and parts of the Nineveh Plain.
Steve, we couldn't get hold of Alan Mirza today because he's so busy preparing the press conference that we are having next week in Washington, in Capitol Hill. Can you please explain short and make it easy of the accomplishment of Alan at the United Nations in Geneva?
Okay, Alan did what I would call just an absolutely remarkable job. The UNOG, the UN of Geneva, Alan, through the AUA, petitioned the UN to support a safe haven in the Nineveh Plain with a UN peacekeeping force. I am happy and proud to say, because of Alan's hard work, the UNAG came out in favor of a safe haven. So they made a recommendation to the Secretary General of the UN to petition for a safe haven through the Security Council. So that's basically the first, it's really the first step, the first successful hurdle that we crossed at the UN in getting them to support a safe haven with a UN peacekeeping force, which is really the sort of critical part of that, because the recommendation of the UN wasn't just for a safe area, but it was for a safe haven specifically with having a UN peacekeeping force there, which eventually would be transitioned to the Nineveh Plains Police Force, which is another issue that we can talk about if you want.
Steve.
And that would be, and then eventually the security for the area would be taken over by Assyrians, Chaldeans, Syriacs, Shabaks, and all the other minorities who make up the communities there.
Steve, you have to explain what a safe haven is. I don't think all the viewers actually knows what a safe haven is. We would call it in Syrio, in Ma'arboya, we would call it Diktat Hamayi. What is a safe haven?
All right. So the best way I can put this, a safe haven could be a lot of things. I mean, there's the legal definition of it aside, it's basically an area within a country. In this case, the Nineveh Plains in Iraq would be an area that would be, one, secured and administrated by the minorities of that region. So basically, by declaring this area a safe haven, it would put a UN peacekeeping force there, which would keep the peace, transition that to a police force or a security apparatus that's locally organized, and that's administrated locally. So it would have its own local governments. There would be revenue sharing through oil revenues with the government of Iraq. That would be specifically for, and that money would be used and spent and basically just administrated by our people, by Assyrians, Chaldeans, Syriacs, Shabaks, Yazidis, and so on and so forth, to develop that area and have some political freedom and sense of self-determination.
Okay, great.
Is that excellent?
I think, Steve, since we're going to see you in a couple of days in Washington, we're content with everything you do. We're very proud of you. We will go on and talk to Australia.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for your time. I was in China.
Okay.
أبدرو باسيما إقارم إتلان أغديو خنجوانك بالخاننا قد أديو يوما دخ بدانو إيلا قد أمسا خاشولا ودخ.
If I may, would you mind if I said one thing before you let me go?
Sure.
Shoot.
Go ahead.
So I think one of the things more importantly that I want to say, and for the work that we do in Washington wouldn't be possible without the work that everybody does. This really the only thing that gives legitimacy to the advocacy we do. So when I have to go to the White House and ask them for safe haven, the only thing that gives that legitimacy are the hundreds of thousands of people that are standing behind us and who are rallying and doing everything they can. And I'm going to say this: every like, every tweet, every hashtag for a demand for action for safe haven, that matters. That goes a long way. So keep rallying, keep protesting, and make your voices heard. To every single person in our nation, you've done an amazing job, and I'm proud of every single one of you.
Actually, Steve, I wanted to ask that question. As a lobbyist, how important do you see the efforts of people that are protesting, the efforts of people that are lobbying in UN, the efforts of people that are
tweeting,
sharing within the community, out of the community? How important do you see each one of these elements, or those people that are calling, sending letters? Is there really any significance to these? Are they really helping each other to achieve a common goal?
Like in UK now, they're about to send 250 letters to each important politician in their country. In all our countries, we're tweeting, we're sharing, and we're calling our politicians and the media. So how can you give us just short picture of the impact of all these efforts?
Okay, I will say two things about that, and I'll keep them very brief. the unequivocally, and I have no equivocations with saying this. Without the social media presence, without the tweeting, the writing letters, the protesting, nobody would listen to anything that I have to say. And that is the God's honest truth. That is the whole movement. I mean, the whole movement is on the ground. Without that, without the grassroots organization, you wouldn't see any effectiveness. I used to work full-time as a Syrian lobbyist back in 2008, and we've probably gotten more done in a month than we did in a year back then. And the only reason is because there has never, in my lifetime, been this kind of groundswell, this kind of critical mass for movement. And I'm going to give you one anecdote to give you an idea of that. After the Envoy bill passed, we had a lot of calls and a lot of letters going out from Congress, from members, from people in the community for the president to sign that bill. And when they signed that bill, I got a phone call from the White House a few days after he had signed it. We had found out from Anna Eshoo that he had signed it, but I got a phone call from the White House that said, "You are a very persistent young man." And their feeling was, and their basic position on it was, we blew up the phone lines. We had members of Congress calling, and that the only reason that happened was because of the letter writing campaign, was because of the grassroots support, and we're forcing their hands on it, and that's really what this is. And every single person doing everything they can, because not everybody is a lobbyist. Not everybody can, speak directly with members of Congress, and that's okay. But they are staying persistent with it, and that gives us exactly, the support that we need to get things done, and we have. So God bless you, Nuri, and God bless everybody who's done so much. It's been remarkable.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Abdro Basim Aziza. Pushum Shena. Nuri, I don't know, are you happy with all these activities that you started? I just want to ask you, do you ever sleep? And is it worth it, all this hard work? Do you...
Oh my God. Every single picture we see from Asra, from Wasro, every woman, every child that is suffering, who are we to complain? I mean, they are endangered, they are vulnerable, and there's no one there to protect them. Of course, I mean, I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm content, and I think we all are of our efforts.
I have to see people's life have been paralyzed. Whoever you talk to, they feel like they're paralyzed, they cannot function fully, they cannot do all their daily tasks as efficient as they used to. What's happening back home in Iraq is affecting every single Assyrian's life.
I mean, all of us are crying. Okay, Jack, Lebanon, Beirut.
Okay, أدي بيغ أزغ البيروت إتلان أرخى من توما بتهمزمخ. Okay, can you welcome the guest?
Jack, Shano, Shana.
Yeah, Shlama Lokon.
Shlama Lo Jack داخبت.
Spice, good.
أنا نينو سيفن أم يقرت لك راشا ليلا وخنا نوري كينو يططة
لا شرشت جاك
أبد باسيما إلى قدم تجلد توما ليلا
أنا ميقرا نوري بشينا تقدرانة ANB هاوي تنوضة بسيمة شلما الكل خاطر ورايا جو داها دنيا في شائر بنوند أمتن جو طروات زليمة بتمهرن عراق سوريا هدية زي جو لبنان كريستياني كلنا ايد شلامقة كل خدشة بصدايا نلخا كداها مندي بيشي لقربنا المتواتي ومديناتي تمشي خاية جو لبنان
شلامة أبو أمخ
أخوالات داخل بغزاي
فقط
بقاري هراهب أخوالات داخل بغزايتنا دي من روغ ناشق ونقارانوتو وزدوتنا قبميات تقبول من جو أطرد العراق بد نهرين وداخل كويت أبي قربون اللبنان.
يا دوزوتا أخني لخ رابخ بشامة عندها من دي تيليبياشا خامندي خامن دي مستدان اللي كد أختم قربخ من أطروات بنون ملتان تينا قداها ظلمية جو إيرا أخني همشا يهوخ همزوم من يأمر قد يعني تكلت ما سخوة أزخوة هي رخوة لو خنطامة برزايخ فاميلي ستينا بتايا من إيراق من سوريا هدية تينا شورية بلاطة من متواتد خابر بيشلي ايسس بيشلي رابا قربة التخومة خابر ليطخ بدي دانا بأمري بايخ أورخ بأور المتواتد خابر تينا بيشة اديو مسبيقة من جوانقة ومن قورد متواتد كلها بليطة من الأطروات تودر
ميرجاك ثاني لان تبكتوغ من هدامة سلطانة تشاينا ومن ديد أنا بدايو من أتن تشاينيز سبايك همزمت يعني كمست همزمت يعني منه وبليشان جانه وبين خزن إن تبيق بيت مت خبران التونيتون ينمو دي شميت.
أخني شو يا قم ده تبقتا تخمن إخوة خاميزلتا ودخوة جو لبنان أبن إيتن خد جزدوتا جو لبت بنونة داها أطرا قد صالي بخاميزلتا درقل تايسس ودرقل دني تيروريزم سبيطيتون أختم بيومت ميزلتا تي بلطلان بيو غخا جو لبنان قام يونايتد نيشنز هالبيضانا اتوا ايسس كليه والتخومة لبنان بلاشة ومن اسكرة لبنان قد اوري لبنان اخطن بيضانا at the same time قماطيلا مسج انه جو خامديت هم دينات لبنان ايسس جاوبلت آور من بردها ميزلتها ميوقرا هلبت ميوقرا نوري كينو بليطة وبداها كامبين تخمن لنا انه قد اودخا يونايتد كامبين جو كل اطروات لا اودخا من دي بيانا سباها من دي سنيقه خلي دي يوما ما كل اطروات بلطوالا من بردها ميزلتها تخمن لان كد غزيلا خدشا ميديا لخا جو لبنان غزيلا كد ميديا خدشا زبني اللي بدها من دي يعني بش بيزالي وخدشا الجنوسايد تيوا بياشا بلكي جو غزة بش من ما تيوا من دي تيلي قوما البنونة أمتن بشمايتون
هي تصبح بشماي قادو
اوكي سب خدشا انترنت كونكشن جو لبنان زبني لا من بردها من دي تخمن لان قد اودخا انبايتو بلان قد ماطخ الديسيجن ميكرز الريبريزنتيف تيني لخا جو لبنان بشورا يزلوا على من minorities congress انا ايفن ريبريزنتيف اتوراي جاو طلب لان خا ميتينج من European Union تبقلن بالتكبيران تلخا ومنطيلا خا كلير مسج انه اخطن اطراي النتريل بيشن من بلتد ننوي بيشن خد ظلميا واديو يوم اخطن لطلن باوروتا بجوفرمنت دني اطراواته بيجيس دني اطراواته بايخ خا سيف هيفن قاتن خد تكبرتا يونايتد نيشنز وهلبت اها تكبرتا يونايتد نيشنز ليلا اختي protection ليلا اختي army إنا أي education economics كل من دي من بار فرقلان من كيس European Union طلب لها منن تكبرنتا قد آزخ الكل أي هلبت مرة منطية لترديا إن مرة قد بش مطيعها لترجعك أزيت الكل أطرواتي تيني جو دها European Union أبزي آزخ اليونايتد نيشنز درن تفقلن بيونايتد نيشنز representative لخا جو لبنان أوباي منطيلة خالتر قا تكبرانة يونايتد نيشنز بانكي مون أوباي يطلب لها منن قد آزخ الأطرواتي خيني قبلها طلب لنا ميتينج من امباسادور تشاينا لخجوا لبنان وممطيلا مسج قد مندي لبا يشكليا أختي جويرا وجسوريا وجلبنان مندي إن شقيلة إن لا بشلخا أكشن مندي بماطل أطروات الدية أني هلبت هم زملا مرانو أختن رابا هلب واضح فاميليز دي نبيتايا لبنان فاميليز دي بلاطة من إيراق قلخة مران مندي ليلة مليانة هلبت رابا سنيقخ الهيوتا قبنونة أمتن جو إيراق وجو سوريا قتلا بلطي من تاما وهلبت مطلب سيف هيفن إيوا أو مطلب قاما يا جو ميتينج ديا.
So, Jack, what are your future plans for demand for action in Lebanon?
Okay, mainly the plan of meeting with the other representatives, other countries in Lebanon is still on. We have many countries to meet. However, in Lebanon, maybe it's a little bit hard to the message to be reached to the right person, since many ambassadors left Lebanon.
Why have they left?
Yeah.
Why have they left Lebanon?
Pardon?
Why have they left Lebanon?
Yeah, I have no idea. We just asked for a meeting, and they say that the ambassador is not currently here in Lebanon. You can meet with the representative, and we see this in the news. I don't know why, but since many
attacks,
many events here in Lebanon, maybe since the 2006 war, we can see these ambassadors leaving Lebanon. Our politicians in Lebanon are leaving Lebanon, so it's a little bit chaos here.
Jack,
yeah.
Jack, one of the Syriac Orthodox churches in Tripoli today, they painted Nasrani, the letter N on it. Can you tell us about that? Have you heard about it?
Where? In which area? In Tripoli?
Tripoli.
Umrana Aldani de Mutna Noon N.
Yeah, in which area?
Tripoli.
Tripoli.
Okay. Look, in Tripoli we have this. We have since long time we have these terrorist groups. Now we have ISIS in many areas, but it's still hidden. Not all media channels are covering this, but the letter N was written on many areas in Lebanon, many cities, many villages. Mainly Beirut is very safe right now, but it's still like there's. Media here in Lebanon doesn't cover everything to avoid any problems.
Provocation.
Yeah.
So, Jack, do you feel that people in Lebanon, that they are scared?
Yes. Christians here are currently getting arms for self-protection. Also, we have met with many leaders in the Lebanese army. Actually, the Lebanese army is not allowed to get enough weapons to protect cities in the cities that are currently in danger.
Jack, Kadabiya, the Samir Ja'ja and the Lebanese forces, they have said that they are ready to go to Nineveh and fight for the protection of the Assyrian Syriac Chaldeans.
Yeah, actually Christians here in Lebanon and the political parties like the Lebanese forces or the Lebanese Kata'ib, they have this ideology that Christians have to fight here in these countries to protect themselves. Now, one of the representative of Lebanese forces, it's one of my friends. Actually, he told me that 1 year ago, someone from Iraq, he didn't name it, it's in the parliament, he's Assyrian, and this guy from the Lebanese forces asked him why you're not doing something to protect yourself, getting some weapons, getting armed, we can help you. He said, no, Iraq is our country, and all Iraq is our country. We don't need to protect ourselves. The government will protect us. The Iraqi armies will protect us. And he was disappointed that he knows very well, we know in Lebanon, that we can't survive by the protection of these governments. Actually, the Lebanese army is still, so far, he is ready to protect all the Lebanese, but not the Iraqi army and not the Syrian army.
So what you are saying is that the Iraqi army has not been able, or maybe they didn't even have the feeling, the lust to protect the Assyrians in Nineveh. But the Lebanese forces have, they have started to negotiate. Maybe they will create a new Assyrian militia.
Okay. Let's make something clear. The Lebanese forces is a political party in Lebanon. He used to be a militia, a Christian militia here in Lebanon. We are talking about the Lebanese army, the official Lebanese army, right?
Right, but it was the Lebanese forces who negotiated with the Assyrians.
I think you guys
Yes.
Yes.
The political party has negotiated with many Assyrians.
Well, many things will happen in the Middle East. We don't know anything about the future today. Things are developing very fast, and we are very, very proud of you, Jack, that you guys, I don't know, how many thousands were with you in your rally that you made, the Demand for Action rally in Beirut?
Pardon, how many times?
How many people did join the Demand for Action rally, demonstration, protest?
Actually, 6 days before the rally.
Like ما جنات بليتتهم وا.
Okay. Actually, we had like maybe 400, but we didn't get enough time to get the media and we just used the social media and our contacts. But we had people from many churches, many associations. We had from the Orthodox youth movement, from of course Assyrian Church of the East, Syriac Church, Orthodox and Catholic, Maronites, many independent people, Christians. We had the Muslims with us. We had someone from the Iraqi government called me. He's a representative of the media, maybe I don't know what part of Iraqi government. He asked me that this case is an Iraqi case and is not just a Christian case. I told him I'm sorry that we don't trust the Iraqi government anymore, nor the Iraqi army, but you are welcome anytime to protest with us.
بتضربوا باسيما جاك قدني كل مطانيات قد يفعلوا واخنا بخشابخ وايجو لبنان تويا هرالي بوش رابا ناشبيه إنا دخماربت إيبا بال 400 هل 500 people يعني أتخناشة
in Beirut.
لا راحت كيف أتربات كيف قيبان دينو سينا وكان قد بليتون
بس مجالهم
خييتون قدا لبا قدا قيرات قد إطلاقهم
أبيتون روبو باسيمة كل دنا مطانياتها.
What time is it, Jack? What time is it in Beirut?
Actually, it's now 6:20 a.m.
Oh, we hold you up. Okay, good morning.
قدمتوا برختة عزيزة أبدروا باسيمة.
Thank you, خيتهم.
باسيمة. كوشو مشتاق.
Hallo عمو. Hallo عمو.
يريدوا بساسة خام دي بيانتنيان. أبيو هم زمان جاك آمن دي شميلان. أبنوري جانو زام دي تونيولا. أبند I have movement. I had جبوجة إلى خا grassroots movement. أبند بخلت من نطاقة حكم هم زميات لايبة. أبند إلى جبوجة grassroots movement independent إلى كنت خبر شوبت جانو قيرت جانو بغزاية لقد قام وخاشولة عبد قومتو. إن هربديلن ترابا أن قايوتا إتلا سنتد شو تاسن عمرانا جب بريش قد هيورنا أها جبوجة بوش خلانا أزل لقامي وبوش بلاطة خلانة عويلة من دام دي بغزاير كمدينات بريش قد أها جوجة بيلة بكل شكل بغزاير رايد إيتا بينا همشا
and it's important Ninos and Rochelle, it's very important to say that we don't challenge any of our other political parties or organizations. On the contrary, we are a complement to them. We are the grassroots movement, and in all this
is the filler, basically.
Yes, and in all this, it's very, very important to remember why we are doing this.
It's in Australia.
We have 160 IDPs, new IDPs.
Internally displaced
We have
people.
more than half our nation has fled Iraq. Probably more than half of our nation have fled Syria, and all these kidnapped people, abducted people we have, all the ransom we have paid. The rapes, the murders, the beheadings, the young men we have seen have been beheaded in front of our eyes. That's why we are doing this, and we will keep on doing it until all these people are safe, because it's not about us here in diaspora.
The size of this tragedy, the size of this disaster is so big that
it's a genocide.
It is a genocide, and what we see now, our generation is living in shelters where they're being torn away from education, from health. Mothers are burying their children in poorest life conditions ever. We have so many new kids that are born on the streets. We are actually having people that are getting married because, as they say, life goes on. They're hopeful for the future and they're getting married, but still this life condition is not something that any human deserves to have in this day and time, and that is what we need to voice.
We are actually experiencing the SAFO, we're experiencing simile, we're experiencing the 80s in Turkey, we're experiencing what happened in Iraq. I mean, we've always been persecuted in a way or another. Under the Ba'ath regimes, we are persecuted as ethnicity. After the Ba'ath regimes, we are persecuted as religion and ethnicity, ethno-religious. It has to end. Enough!
Enough is enough. We have Australia online, they're been waiting, so let's see if we can get them connected.
Tatiana!
شلام عليكم؟ قال لي البداية ميغرا ستيف.
تاتيانا بشمايو قالان؟
We can't hear you, Tat.
احنا نلمسخ شمخ.
عادي
القالة.
Okay, got it.
شلام عليكم؟ كيفهم سبايلا من أستراليا؟
سبايلا بسيمون.
متساقط إلى توما؟
They 1:30 p.m. Friday afternoon.
1:30 p.m.
It's great for
فالقيت يوم ويصير
1:30 p.m. It's great. Are you going to first question?
Where's Nahir? Nahir Bisso.
Nahir Lilimani, he's at work. I think they were going to try and phone him. Will they phone him after this?
Okay.
Sean.
Tell us about your activities in Australia.
Okay, but Nahir will explain to you more of what's happening here. I'll explain to you from the social media aspect, as
that's my speciality. You've got Nahir or no?
Shoot, yes. We hear
okay,
you.
So from the social media aspect, Dachtuni wala Shirley, you know, it was something we wanted to start together. It just so happened that Australia started it because we had our meeting first, Leila Hamdi, that we started or that they started. In terms of joining Demand for Action and what we were trying to accomplish, I believe that this social media movement, I believe in social media. I've seen social media work. I've seen it make movement, whether it be politically or whether it be from a humanitarian aspect. But the most important thing for social media from a Demand for Action, for our people, I believe, is the movement that it's been making individually. It's been making movements in our youth. It's been waking them up, so to speak. For them to usually be people who are complacent, who sit in a corner, who think, you know, there's not much I can do. There's so much going on, and what is it that possibly I can do? For us to show them that, you know, even your click of a button can do something. And when they start seeing that this is happening, we're starting to see movements. We're starting to see politicians respond to us, journalists respond to us, and they're being given the power they are. And with that, I find that it awakens their inner, you know, their inner activist, their inner nationalist, their inner freedom fighter. It makes them believe that they can do something. It throws them in a world that it has them more vigilant to read, to find out what political movements are happening from their end, and it just gives them the power. And that's what I believe is most effective in a Demand for Action.
Tatiana, not everybody knows what Twitter is, or Facebook, or social media. What does that mean, social media? I mean,
social media is what is happening right now. Is me speaking to you. That's social media. This is unbelievable. It's you contacting everybody you've been able to from around the world for Demand for Action. But it's an information platform. It is allowing, you know, Assyrians in diaspora to connect. I actually can't hear you.
Education?
Absolutely education. I've learned so much from social media myself, and it's even our own young Assyrians in the diaspora are learning more.
Tatiana, can you give us an example of what Demand for Action with social media, with Twitter and or Facebook have achieved?
From what we've seen from, say, the Twitter aspect, it's been able to give us contact to various journalists within Australia. I'm talking from our perspective. We've had members of our team have responses come back from journalists just from tweeting them and saying, you know, look, thank you for talking about these people, but you know, you're missing out that there's an ethnicity here and these people are Assyrian, and would you like to learn more about that? And we have journalists responding saying, yes, please email me, I'd like to know more, what can I do to help? You know, and I think that is a pivotal point in how social media is working to our advantage.
Tatiana, what is Twitter? What is it?
Twitter?
Yeah, what is it?
Twitter is an influx of information. It is you are able to control what you read, what you see. You can search for things. You can find out what people are talking about. It's literally the world at your fingertips. So basically, in terms of technically, Twitter is a news feed where you're able to read everything that's happening from people that you follow. And if you start following journalists, politicians, media outlets, it makes you aware of their movements at all times, and it allows you to respond to them, and it gives them an option to respond back to you. It's almost like cutting out all the middlemen and being able to go into it.
So you want to reach a minister or an MP, a member of parliament. That person has an account, a Twitter account, and you can actually write directly to that person and even share my articles as you did today with that person.
Absolutely. Look, it really depends on whether they run their own personal Twitter account, but a lot of politicians have advisors that run their Twitter accounts, and if these advisors are seeing say the same article or the same message being pushed onto them, these advisors will be forced to look into it, to research it, and relay the information to that minister, to that politician. If they run their own, our Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, former Prime Minister, ran his own, and he responded to tweets as he pleased. But being able to share this, the other day, one of the articles, one of our UK team leader Madina Isaac wrote an article. I tweeted it, I shared it with another journalist. He retweeted it and had it seen by 11,000 other of his followers. It opens up a window of communication.
And then someone else retweeted it that had more than 1.5 million followers.
You're cutting out.
I'm cutting out? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Like today someone retweeted one of our articles, Mardian articles, and that person had more than 2 million followers. So probably at least 10, 20 or 50% of those will read Mardian article, which is viral.
And then they are able to retweet it further and further and further. I mean, the possibility is endless as to how many people we can reach with our message through one simple application of a telephone.
Ninos, one of your Australian leader, calls it social media guerrilla. What does that mean? What does he mean with that?
We've basically formed our own social media militia. We call we're all comrades. It's a social media army. There's social media storms, whereas we'll pick if there's a politician we want to go after, we will go after them, and we're merciless. You hear our voice. This is what we want to tell you. These are the Assyrians. This is what we want. This is what we need. It's not negotiable, and that's how we go for it. It's a guerrilla. We're merciless. We need to get out.
A guerrilla from 19 countries.
Nori, you have your own blog on HotPost.
And the youth that have grasped this, that have taken this on board, and have made it, their purpose. It's unbelievable. I'm so proud of these young people that have realized that they have power. You don't have to be a journalist. You don't have to be a politician to make something happen. It's our voice, and we need to be the voice.
You said what, Ninos?
You have your own blog on HotPost, I believe so.
Yes, I have a column and a blog on HuffPost. I write many articles in Europe and also in US, and Tatiana and them helps me to share it, so it reaches not just the readers of HuffPost or Sabotage, which I also write in, or any other of those, or Marian articles, or Tatiana's, or any of our articles. What we do is that we build up this guerrilla, this militia, so we actually reach the world. Right, Tatiana?
Absolutely. We do reach the world. We have people responding to us from countries all over the world. What can we do to help? What is there, whether they want to provide aid, we direct them to the right websites for aid. Whether they want more information, we send them through your articles, Mardian's articles. I've got, like snapshots of perfect quotes from your articles, from Mardian's articles, for a quick, this is the situation, this is our ethnicity, we need to claim it. We can't risk to lose our ethnicity because we've already lost so much. We cannot risk to lose it in the face of everything that's happening. And then that clicks in their heads, and they send a message back, and okay, what can we do to help? Where do we start?
Tatiana, what I learned from Nori, for a few days, together here, I find out you guys, I believe, changed your lifestyle. You guys are on the computer, doing all this hard work, and be connected from all the world. It's all over the world. It's not like the same time zone and something. It's like some places the morning, some places like middle of the night. It's not easy to keep up with all this hard work.
It isn't, and I believe, Nuri, we call it demandaholics, is what we've all become. And you know what? It's not easy, and we don't sleep, but that's not. We wouldn't be personally. I'm going to speak personally here. I wouldn't be able to sleep either way because of everything that's happening. There is no way that I can sleep comfortably. It's on my mind 24/7. It's completely consumed me. And so rather than sit and let it, let hate or anger consume my life. I need to use that and be productive with it. And so I have no problem whatsoever being able to, you know, Nuri sends us a message, are you awake? It's 4 a.m. One of us will respond, whatever he needs. Like, we're a team, everybody supports each other. It's absolutely astounding. I've never worked with such, I mean, I honestly have no words for the people that I work with all over the world. So supportive of each other and everybody working towards one goal. I've always said it, we need to work to dig deeper, not wider. And I'm just so proud of everything that's happening.
We are so proud of this new generation because this is your expertise now. Old generation, we cannot work with the computer. We cannot even understand sometimes tweeters or anything like that today we can use. But you, new generation, you guys are working like soldiers. To be honest with you, I'm so proud of you, and I see you guys in action, like working so hard. Like, doesn't matter what time of day is. It's like it's so beautiful to me. It's like it's priceless.
It's
what
not.
I see.
It's not as easy as it sounds. We have shared many tears during this, and the other day when I was at the ANF convention, at the Federations convention, I said we've been around for 3 months. Then someone corrected me and said, no, it's not true. Rochelle has just left us. Yeah. Rochelle was the one that corrected me and said, no, it's 2 months. And during these 2 months, we've had a very hard time, and we also have members who are supporters who have had nervous breakdowns because of all the images we see and all the articles we read. And I personally, and many with me, we are also in touch with the homeland back with Athra, and we hear the voices. And I, like a couple of weeks ago, I called both Syria and Iraq because I had a need, I had a crave of hearing their voices and documenting it and sending it to our members all over the world to tweet. But when you tweet or when you Facebook, whatever you do, I mean, I'm a writer. I know how to write down feelings, but you can never give it a justice, a body. Like all these stories we hear, like the father of a son who's on Sinjar, on the mountain, where mostly Yazidi were. And Yazidis are our brothers and sisters and have been our neighbors for 7,000 years. And this Assyrian man who I call, and he picks up the phone, and I say, is it true? And he says, what do you want from me? And I said, we need to be your voice. We want to be your voice, and we will do whatever we can. And this man had his son 36 hours, and he didn't want to leave the body. The son died because there was no asthma medicine. And there's another gentleman that we spoke to and that we gave voice to, that his wife was sold on a market, and he saw that on a picture. And this woman that ISIS, they dragged her 3-year-old daughter on gunpoint, and all these things affect us. We have had several nervous breakdowns in the group, and we have to also be there for each other. Like Tat, I can see it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, go to sleep now. And I can see they're chatting to each other, and then they go, and then they send a message to headquarters in Sweden, and they say, you need to take care of Nuri, he hasn't slept for 36 hours. And that's the way, or Nahir, or whoever. And it's amazing, but it's been very, very hard on us. And,
yeah, as you said,
and we have had members who have had problems in their families, problems in their jobs, because during their jobs they try to stay in touch, and then their manager comes. So what do you say, Tatiana? That's what we experience.
Look, I personally have had the talk from, you know, my boss, but it was more of a supportive talk, and I just said, look, this is it. This has become my life, and they're supportive, but what else can we do? Because we know very easily that could have been us in that situation. And if I was in that situation, I'd like to know that there's someone trying to do everything that they can possibly they possibly can do to help. That's just it, you know. That it's as simple as that. It could have been us.
تاتيانا ويا جرابة باسمتها ككل ده نشولان فيديتون ودزويتها علىها عاب منوخون وناطروخون اها جيل خدتها جنريشن خدتها دزويتها اخنا ريشة إقارة مكوبة بخ قد اخنوخون بالخانتون بداقة شيوتها عبيتون رابا سيمة من أستراليا شمين قد اتفالوخون رابا وخزين شابرتا راليز وإيتون بجواجة أخذنا سولجر ليتون أخجي تيبة بيتا وخشة بعدها أشول بعدتون على ناطره باسمتها
and Hamza من ناحية he's got a lot to say about all our rallies and everything that's happening also بس من رابع نمشيكم برختة.
Love you. Bye, Tatiana. Love you all.
Bye. Thank you, Nuri. Thank you for everything. God bless you. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
God bless you too. Nah. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Something that maybe we didn't think of.
There's so much to talk about.
For so many times, different generations, we didn't prepare for future, what's going to happen. This disaster, it's coming. It's not like...
we were expecting it.
It's not like natural disaster. It's not like earthquake. Every 40 years, every 50 years, we have another genocide. We have another genocide. Okay, it's something that we need to prepare for it.
That's part of a demand for action, that we will go on.
And we need to protect ourselves.
Yes.
We do not rely on any army of anybody but our own.
We have 4 demands that are in common, no matter where we are in the world, in our negotiations with every government, also with the United Nations, with DC, with the State Department, and with the European Union, and that is safe haven, international troops, humanitarian aid, and weapon. That's it. 4 points. Very easy. And we will go on until we have them. Do we have Nahir with us?
We don't have...
Yeah, you can talk.
We don't have a video.
No video?
We try to connect.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have Iraq with us also?
Iraq, I think it's disconnected or something.
Okay. Nahir?
Good evening.
شلومو ناير؟
شاينوب سمعتوا لي؟
هيك شمينا نخطو. Nahir speaks both dialects.
يانا همزمت بليشان الدي وبليشان النوري.
مشغول تعمي مع عربويو وعمي مع دنحويو.
No, don't translate. You're cheating. He's cheating.
So go on.
I speak my dialect pretty well and I can understand your dialect really well too, Ninos.
عبد باسيما بشينا تيلوخ الداها خرزة وبإتفالان خكمة بوقار. We have some questions about like demand for action, and you guys are a part of it. وبياي explain أوديت okay, can you tell him? Don't. Yep.
Nair, cosa قولو مو هنيدو مو كمبيوتريدو مو لابتوبيدو كيتو قولو بدكتو ميدي ايه توتريو yeah, much better.
Much better?
But
yes.
No, for like
it is better. And now, oh, it's good. We have you.
Great.
No, we don't have his face.
ما عليه تشيكا تحزنها فوتو. شبقونه تو.
هذه شابر تبيلا.
I can't see you.
احنا حزنا نختو. نقلوز بحزتنا تغامليت.
بايخ خزخ آتن كامو join video a demand for action. In Australia, you know?
Yes.
You Australia, وكما active members vajokon ili itlu خرواتك في الخانة منوكن.
ناي قيهات هاوت هادوما am demand for action am يبعثوا كمينانا وكمو هادوما
if you don't mind, I'll speak in English.
Yeah, sure.
So I had a couple of reasons why I wanted to join, to be honest. One of them was all the gruesome images that the whole world had been exposed to, and the cry for help that we were seeing. The main reason. The second would have been Nuri. We draw a lot of inspiration from you, and I have known you in the past, and for me it was a patriotic call, to be honest, to be involved in an activity, in a worldwide movement to help our people in any which way we could.
So, can you tell us about your activities in Australia? What have you guys achieved in your country?
Absolutely. So we have had a few rallies here in Australia. The first one being on the 2nd of August, which was coordinated globally, and the number of people that had turned up to that was, to be honest, astounding. We had unofficial reports say that anywhere between 7,000 to 10,000 people that attended the rally in Sydney on the 2nd of August.
Whoa.
And in addition to that, on the same day, we had another rally in Melbourne, which was a few hours afterwards, and there was about 3,000 to 5,000 people that had attended that rally.
That's huge.
Very successful rally. A lot of people were very emotionally driven, and everyone that could have attended did attend that rally on that day. Following from that, there was another rally organized on the 27th of August, and this was organized at Parliament House, in front of the Parliament House in Canberra. We had many people come from Melbourne, which is about a 600 to 700 kilometre drive. We had a lot of people from Sydney, which was about 150 to 200 kilometres drive. So all in all, there was about 700 people that attended that. The Demand for Action team had T-shirts printed and presented to all the politicians that spoke on the day, and we had a photo opportunity with them as well, which was good. And on that day, the Parliament did mention the plight of the Syrians quite a bit. Following that, we also have another rally organised for this Saturday in Melbourne. Now that's being organised by the Christian youth in Melbourne in association with a Demand for Action. And that rally is happening tomorrow afternoon, I believe, in Melbourne. So quite a few rallies, and I'm sure there will be more in the future as well.
But Nahir, actually, what you guys have achieved is much more than that. It's the media. You've been all over. You even had 2 of the Demand for Action members debating with ISIS on a TV program. And you've been on radio, newspapers. Can you tell us about that, please?
Absolutely. So we have had one of my team members. By the way, can I just say that I have an amazing team here in Sydney and in Melbourne. Part of my team also includes a few people from New Zealand as well, and I think they are the most brilliant set of people that I have worked with in my past with anything to do with the Assyrian movement. So one of my team members based in Melbourne, Diana, she's been very successful in getting in touch with radio presenters, journalists, news reporters, and has been successful in getting interviews with them, and she has had quite a few of them. In addition to that, we've had TV appearances. Nicholas Algilu and Ninwe Ayako have been, they've appeared on a TV show that was aimed at discussing the religious implications, but more so about allowing people from Australia to go and fight for such causes. And they had an on-air debate with an ISIS sympathizer. It didn't go down too well, but it was civilized at the time. In addition to that, we've had one of our other team members down in Melbourne appear on one of our TV stations as well, telling them what it is that Demand for Action do. So we've had a really good exposure from that point. But just to add on to what Tatiana was saying earlier, who is an amazing person with what she does, with the social media, so we have two fronts to our agenda, to our strategy. We've got a reactive agenda, a strategy, and a proactive strategy. If I can explain the reactive one, and again, thanks to Ninos Kanna, who's my co-leader here in Australia, who put together a robot, so to speak. So our reactive strategy is to seek tweets or messages in the Twitter world that don't mention Assyrians whenever Iraqi or Christian is mentioned. And it just pretty much shoots out a tweet to that particular person or a message to that person telling them, please not to ignore our ethnicity and not to refer to us just by our religion. So that's our reactive side. Our proactive side is when we push out the messages or the articles that get given from, say, head office or Mardin's article or Nuri, your articles. We just push them out to every single personality, be it a politician, be it a celebrity, be it someone of influence, and tag them in a tweet so that they get to read it and possibly their followers get to read it, and maybe even for it to be retweeted for their followers to see it.
So, Nahir, are you guys content with the outcome of your effort of especially New Zealand and Australia, I mean, but also generally talking about the Demand for Action movement?
Look, there can always be more done. I think the team is working really well. We have been really successful, as Tatiana was mentioning earlier. We have been very successful in contacting media personalities, in contacting whoever we can of influence, but there can always be more work to be done. So one of the projects that I'm going to be working on, and I have asked Tatiana to lead this from my team, is, and I hope all of the leaders, ADFA leaders around the world are watching this. I am going to email every single one of you. What I want to do is I want to do a cross-collaboration of our social media efforts. So by saying that, what I want is I'm going to request for each leader in their own country, or be it if it's a big country within their own regions, to put together their own little social media armies. Have a social media leader, do a recruitment drive, put together a social media army. So if you have any numbers, whatever it is, 30, 40, 50, 100, 5,000 people, what we want is we want to cross-collaborate between each country and have one or two members of each country in each other's groups so that we can tweet and retweet globally, not just within our region, but globally. So this is one of the strategies I want to work on with the leaders in the other countries. I think more can be done, and time is limited, but at the moment, these are the capabilities we have.
Nair, we thank you for what you do, and we really we are happy with the Australia movement, what you guys doing, and to be honest with you, I wish we had more people like you guys working around the clock for this reason all over the world. And whatever Nuri captured, like with you guys, like all of you guys together, you guys making a huge and a very good team to just with the right mind, just focus on what we need to demand today. This is I just want to thank you for everything you guys do. Thank you so much.
Todi Saganai.
Todi, and the thank you really goes to the team and the rest of the ADFA members all over the world. I think, as it's been mentioned before, everyone is so willing to help each other out, and everybody is so willing to put the time in. And like I said before, we draw our inspiration from the leaders in the other countries, from Mardin, from Nouri, from a lot of other people. And thanks needs to go to every single one of them. I think everyone's doing a tremendous job. More can be done. We will do more, and it's just a matter of time.
يوم باسيمو على عمو
أبدرو باسيمة عزيز أبدرو باسيمة push مشينا. Okay, what I see here, you started something, and all these people are following something that is right to do right now, at this moment, for this nation. And what I want to just add on top of it, all these political parties and all these religious groups that we have, they are all working together. That's a good thing. That's a good sign. It's not like before. Everyone is like me only. And now it's about us. And this is something that you started it. And I don't know if you can keep up all this energy that you have for how long. And you need to plant this seed. And it's not easy to just plant it.
The problem is, it's not me. Like the headquarters as Nahir called Sweden, the head office, I would say. It's Vivian, David, Maria, Peter, Ninson, Ashur, Ashurina, and Isla. These people are awesome. It's amazing that we could all come together, because we never had a problem. We have discussions. I had discussions with 6 countries yesterday, actually. 6 different countries on political matters, on cultural matters, what to call our nation, language matters, and also what is our nation? What is Bnei Nahrin or Beth Nahrin or Assyria? Where is that? What is Torabdin? So what we are doing is also that we are teaching, we're educating each other every single day. Like I receive at least 50 emails every 3 hours, at least, or messages, and that's why I have to be in control right now. I'm like the spider in the net, but it's turning to them taking over. And hopefully they will. We have amazing teams all over the world. Like the Iraqi team are unbelievable. Unfortunately, there's something wrong with the net. We cannot talk to them because they've been up all night.
Yeah, we have 4 countries, but the Iraq, they
didn't come. And the Swedish one said, please let us sleep. UK said, for God's sake, Nouri, stop being a dictator. Or maybe that was...
You
Denmark.
are a dictator.
No. No, definitely not. No, I don't have that in my blood. I hope nobody thinks so. Okay.
All right.
I just want to say something before we wrap it up, that there's so many people that should be mentioned who are demand for action or sympathizers of demand for action. There are so many here in America. I don't know where to start and where to end. That should be also mentioned. Denmark, Holland, Germany, France. My God, France also did an awesome job. Austria.
Do we have the name of France here on the board?
If we have the France people?
No, with this 19...
Oh, France! Is France forgotten?
I think it was forgotten.
Can we see the name of the countries? Is France in that?
I think...
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's 19 countries. We need to cope. And also, actually, in countries like Syria, we have demand for action people that provide us with information all the time. That's why we know things that have not been, that have not reached the media yet, and that's why we can tell our countries listen, there is an Assyrian city or a Christian city that has been surrounded, 20,000 people. You need to help us, or to make the governments help us, or the United Nations. And we're gonna make this happen.
Thank you for all this effort.
Thank you, ANB.
Every one of these soldiers that working.
We're saying youth all the time. That's not true, because there's so many in my and your age and older, much older, that also have started their Facebook accounts, their Twitter accounts, and they've had demanded from their children and grandchildren to teach them, because they also want to support us. And thank you, ANB, because you're also a demand for action.
We are demand for action, and our leader, ANB leader, she will be she is with demand for action, and demand for action, it's something right. It's a good recipe for our nation right now. You guys demand something that we needed it yesterday, not today.
I hope you guys will come to the press conference in Washington.
We are working on it, and after this, maybe in about 10 minutes after the show, we will discuss this and see who's going with you.
Thank you all for watching us, and thank you all for being with us wherever you are in the world. And I just want to say that I love every single one of us, no matter if demand for action soldier, guerrilla, militia, supporter, member, but also every single one of our nation. And we will stand up, and we will give our vulnerable a voice. And unfortunately, we had one of our leaders in Iraq, Nano Esho. He was awake until 5 o'clock in the morning, but the internet connection, and we were in touch with him until 5 o'clock their morning in Iraq, and then he was disconnected because
it's Iraqi situation.
It's the Iraqi situation. It's very sad. We love you guys. All of you.
Actually, أخينا بين أنا متخرجنا demand for action إلى خامندي كانت أوديو بطلاب وباخ سيف هيفن كجانا كأمت جانا وكتخت كت بخايل جده وبركية إلى نشتننفه من شواويات أخينا كت أفيلان ناطروت جانا دران جانا أرمي جانا جيش جانا ولا ريلاي أودخ خاجة خيتا الهجخة إذا ما روح الهجخة عبي باسيمة يعني أرمية كتهل أديفينا نطيرنا كومت فيدنا عبي باسيمة إنا أوديو يوما بيخ عبيلان درانا وفورس اتجانا عبخ بنطارو أبرد جانا ناشد جانا وخيوت اتجانا كبودا هلا أخنا دماند فادخ كد يونايتد نيشن جري قلدامن دي جشقة كد خادانا جيشة جري بايش زريزة من أمتت بخايلة تاما قد نطرة جانو أمتك بجانو لا كل خا ريهاية آمس تاما آور وكومت بيايل عبد خنا أومن دي خارايا شو كان بيدد ميقرر نوري كينو قد آون من نوخون همزم لقو خط مخلوق فرصة
خبر حارايا. One last thing is, please follow us. On Twitter, we are at A Demand for Action, and on we are also hashtag the Demand for Action without an A, and on Facebook it's A Demand for Action. Please go in, like us, be followers, members. Every like, every click counts, every share counts. It will take 5 minutes of your lives, only 5 minutes. And it saves lives.
أبيتم باسيم الرابع وبز طينان منطلق من كل هدام وبلاخت كت بالخانة كدمان فور أكشن وخامن دي لك الدخ مارن خا درمان لك أمت ديان أوديو بطان وقت منتها من كل بلاخت ده جوجة أبيتم رابع باسيمة بوشون بشلامة.
Alô, amigo.
يا خلبتي جوري ملك جباري هلو نارا طنقتان مرمخاتا شوق قد قمتن خيا خيوت بايا قمتن خيوت بايا شوق قد خيا ويا كتاب وقلم ويا خيو تشلم لدري من بوم بالريشان لبز بكون لون نشان ما آوار بغدارا من تارا لتروارا شو قناطران بنخلي تارا لرخي فتخخلي يا خلبتي جوري ملكي جباري هلو نارا طنقتن مرمقا شوق قد أمتن خيا خيوت بايا أمتن خيوت بايا شوق قد خيا
نيشان بضايوس أنا قتل قد قال قخينة قد نقرأي منطقة
To the atrocities that are happening in Iraq and elsewhere. We've got to stop this. The genocide, the ethnic cleansing.
للابلون قايم يا خاينا مراباتي شوفون خيا
Because we don't need the media, because as you guys know, these weeks that have passed, we've used our own media, that is the social media.
شوفون قد قمتي خيا خيوت بايا قمتي خيوت بايا شوفون قد خيا
Syrian pastors in Iraq are pleading for prayer from their brothers and sisters in Christ around the world. We are also pleading for all the Christians in our country to voice the Assyrians' cry to Congress and other leaders of the Western world. We are asking the United Nations to protect the Assyrians as a historical nation.
بنخلي ترى الأرخي فتخخلي يا خلبتي جوري مني جباري هلون نارا غاتا مرمخاتا شوفون قد أمتن خيا خيوت بايا أمتن خيوت بايا شوفون قد خيا يا خلبتي جوري مني جباري هلون نارا غاتا مرمخاتا
where are you?
أمتن خيا خيوت بايا أمتن خيوت